All right, we're here with Rashawn Gordon from Gordon Gun Dogs. And I'm Randy Randall with Discipline Kennel. And we're here to talk about shotguns. Shotgun shooting, a little bit about chokes and rounds. Now, Rashawn, I take it you're a shotgun man.
Yes, sir.
Probably shot a few rounds in your life?
Few, just a few.
Wild birds and trap skeets?
Trap skeet and a little bit of sporting clays.
Okay. So, mainly you're a bird hunter.
Yes.
So you tailor probably most of your shotguns and loads for upland birds.
Yeah, that's correct.
Behind your hunting dogs. So what do you got? What are your favorites?
My favorite loads?
Well, your favorite shotgun. You got a lot of favorites probably, like me.
Right.
But how about your over and unders?
Oh,
Let's just start with it. And when we get to your favorite one out of your guns, tell me which one it is.
Well, my favorite over and under would be this little 28 gauge.
Okay. Now, who makes this?
That's a good question. I won that at a banquet, and it says Gibbs rifles.
Wow.
On it, but it's made in Turkey, so it's not a very expensive shotgun by any means. But it just fits right. It feels good. I have that one choked with skeet on the bottom barrel and improved cylinder on the top. And I usually shoot 3/4 ounce number 7.5 out of that.
Oh, so 20 gauge.
It's a 28 gauge.
Oh, it's a 28 gauge. Wow, no wonder. Man, you are an elitist. Well, Sean's kind of an elitist, if I haven't told you yet. He likes his over and unders, likes his side-by-sides, likes certain stock styles. You know, he likes looking good out in the field. But yeah, this feels pretty good.
And then my next favorite bird gun, and it's actually starting to come into first place, is the Ithaca 20 gauge side-by-side, which was actually made by SKB, which was a Japanese gun manufacturer. And that gun's called the Quail Special. And if you look on one side, it has a Gamble's quail, and the other side it has a scale quail.
Wow.
So I dubbed it now the Arizona Quail Special. 20 gauge? 20 gauge, 25-inch barrels, and both barrels are choked improved cylinder.
Wow. Which
is very, very unique. And my only complaint about this gun is on a gun where you have the same barrels, identical choking, why put a barrel selector on it?
Oh.
That just annoys me.
Yeah, I get it. Well, I guess they probably couldn't change things just because they made sub-models in the same choke.
And when I'm hunting with this one, I usually run 7/8 ounce, number 7.5.
So, that one for dove or just for quail?
I shoot everything with that. Dove, quail, chuckers, pheasants.
Pretty open choke.
Yes. Well, I usually shoot them over dogs on point.
Except the dove. What else? You got another side-by-side there? How do you like the side-by-sides? The two barrels that are on each side of your beads, that doesn't bother you at all?
No.
When I was a kid, I had a 16 gauge, but I don't really, I mean, I liked the stacked barrels, the over and unders, because you got one line of sight. This is a double triggered.
That is correct. That's a traditional side-by-side, and that's the actual way I prefer it. Okay. Now, I shoot backwards on a double trigger gun. I have that one choked. Improved cylinder on the left, modified on the right, and I shoot the left barrel first, and traditionally, it's the right barrel that's shot first. Than the left barrel.
Traditionalist. I would have had no idea about that.
I prefer to shoot the back trigger first for whatever reason. I don't know why. And then I go to the front.
Okay. Well, not my cup of tea, but a lot of people use a lot of upland, to be kind of a traditionalist in the upland field. A lot of people go to, side-by-sides, but the old models too. And Rashawn knows them right and left. I hear you might be getting one. Merkel?
A Merkel 280 SL.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting
I can't wait. I'm gonna get your vest, your fancy hat, take your dogs out, and we're gonna have a photo shoot. All right, now, what else you got there?
Oh, that's that, and then I have a Remington 1187.
Okay.
This has got a synthetic stock. It's a 20 gauge, 26-inch barrel. And I believe the skeet choke is in this one. Okay. It says interchangeable tubes.
Let me look at this. So this is pretty light. Now I know, because I've been around Rashawn and his wife Melissa, that this gun actually has a name. Mike.
That is correct.
I think she got it from that Magical Mike. Magic Mike?
Yeah, it could have been. She was watching that.
Yeah. This is Magic Mike. Very, very light. What does this cost? Oh, man, it sure points good, don't it?
I paid about $1,000 for that.
Wow. $1,000 for 1187. Shot how many rounds through it?
Well, I couldn't even imagine it. 20,000.
Does it jam?
I've never had a jam on that gun.
Never had a jam. Just remember that. I mean, that's... typically, the Remingtons actually kick a little less than the Berettas. They're both gas operated. Let's see. Now, I've confiscated his other 1100, so it's on my side. And this, a little bit heavy. Look at this. Look at this stock. What do they call this?
That's a English stock.
Well, that's surprising. An English stock. So it doesn't have the
Monte Carlo stock.
Well, Monte Carlo is the high spot. And it doesn't have the pistol grip. So this is straight and straight. But see how, let me show you how to design. See how from here to here is a drop? That means when you shoot it and it comes back, if you're not on it really tight, you can have a little bit more pressure here. A lot of the traps are reversed. That way when you come back, it comes off. So anyway, so tell us about this one. How much was this?
This is a Remington 1100 special field. That's why it's got the straight stock and the smaller length barrel. And this is what's called the Sam Walton edition, where it has a gold inlaid. Sam Walton, the founder of Walmart, and then it has a regular scroll work right here with his autographed name.
Did you buy this at Walmart?
Matter of fact, I did.
That's insane that they have a gun like this at Walmart. But probably Remington went to Sam and said, hey, we're going to do a gun with your name on it, and it's going to be a little fancy, and we're going to sell it at your store. So, how much is this?
At that particular time, 2003, I paid $800 and some odd for that gun.
Well, see, I just have a hard time paying that much money for an 1100. I mean, I guess they are bulletproof. The first computer-aided, assisted drafting type system to design, a gun, a shotgun, an automatic. And I have had up to 5 of them at a time, and I like them. I'm going to go over mine here in a second, as soon as I restart the video. I just don't want to run out of time. All right, this is part 2 of Rashawn and I going over shotguns. So Rashawn's went over a few of his likes, and he likes them all, but he really likes the over and unders, and he really likes 20 gauge. I'm not a huge side-by-side fan. And just something about him doesn't feel right. I think because it's because you start shooting one thing and getting used to it. I'm a 12 gauge fan, like over and unders. This is a Browning Superposed. This was John Browning's last design. It was actually finished by his son. That's a whole book on superposed and the design. Superposed means the barrels are really tight, really together. This is a 1959 model. I ended up buying this at the same time I bought about a 1970 model, 70-something, and the 71 had beautiful wood, had a broad rib on it, was like brand new, was tight, and this one here just kind of fell open. But my buddy Jim wanted one. I ordered 2. I won it off auctionarms.com when I was a dealer in California, and so he got the good one, I got this one. But I've come to love this one. It points fantastic. Shoots like a dream. I've had it ported by Briley. I have Briley chokes, which are these. I shot this in the police and fire games in Skeet. I use a different superposed over and under for sporting clays and trap. This is a great quail gun. I don't to me, the only advantage to go to a 20 gauge is you get a lighter gun. Typically, you get a lighter gun in a 20 gauge. And since I reload, I can match
gun myself.
I can match 20 gauge performance by 7.87 ounce, 1,200 feet per second in a 12 gauge. Gives you exactly the same load as you would get in a 20 gauge. So there's no advantage if you can get a light gun. For me, that gun's pretty good. Now we have this one. This is a fancy one that I put together when I was a gunsmith and ran a shop, and you know, we ran a retail store. I had this hydraulic recoil reducing system in it, and if you watch, you look at the cheek piece and the pad, they move together. Just it's a dream to shoot thousands and thousands of rounds, and you know, you go out and shoot and practice every single day and not have to deal with recoil. Recoil is the #1 cause of misses. That's why I like an automatic better than I do an over and under or a pump. I like the gas operating system. It takes up a lot of recoil, so the gun's not slapping you on the cheek and busting your shoulder. This is actually the Broadway. It's a combination gun. So, you know, if I was shooting single trap or handicap, I use this longer barrel, single barrel. And if I'm shooting sporting clays or double trap, I can put on this one, which is usually really easy to do. Put the forearm back on, put it in. See how easy it is? You gotta line these two things up first. But pretty much that quick if you do if everything goes okay. This is a Browning Broadway. The reason I got into it is because my buddy shot a Browning Broadway and he did fantastic with it. He's an older person like my dad. And I started shooting trap when I was actually in 8th grade. The summer between 8th grade and my freshman year. And the Browning Broadway just means it has a broad rib. This is points great, shoots great. This gun and I actually probably 10 or 12 years ago competed in police and fire games, and this gun actually holds the Western States record in sporting clays at 94. 12 stations at Coon Creek, and I'm shooting this exact system right here with the bottom choke being improved cylinder and the top one being a light mod. Those are two that broke almost all the targets. So how does that feel? I've shot don't think I've ever shot quail with it, but I've shot plenty of dove with it.
Yeah, I like to shoot doves with that myself.
Yeah. Hey, do me a favor, sit down on your side. That don't mean you get to keep it just because on your side. So far as 1100s go, right now I have 3. I'm going to show you 2. This is one I set up for my son Alex, and it's got a pad on it for his cheek, raises it up a little bit. So every time it raises up, it makes the front barrel point up, and it'll shoot better for, you know, going away trap targets, and that's what you want. Double beads. This gun was about as tall as Alex was. It's got the Carlton choke system in it, which this one is the exact same one as the Spartan line or the vehicle line. Remington's, when they took over the vehicle line, which we talked about a minute ago. So it's choked. I ported it. He shot a lot of rounds through this. Later on, we got him, I think, a 525 Browning. That ended up, I think it's a Browning. Browning. And that kind of had a medium rib on it that he shot really, really well. I mean, excellent. Better than really well. This has a Krylon wrinkle finish. So when you spray it on, it wrinkles up. You got to keep turning it, though, as you spray it. It's super durable, but yet, you know, has some grip to it as well. Where's the other one? This is another one I just painted. This, I had 2 mix matched and so I painted it with black, brown, and green on the forearm and the stock. And this side's double bead, a little shorter barrel, same choke system in it. Actually, this thing's a lot lighter than yours.
It is a lot lighter.
Wonder why?
Maybe wood.
Synthetic, yeah. Well, there's wood on the front, and it's actually synthetic on the back, but it points. But they just point nice. Remingtons are nice guns.
That they are.
The problem with Remingtons right now is they're just expensive. But you get what you pay for, but, you know, a lot of times they're not set up for, you know, both 2 3/4 and 3 inch. So, you know, they're just 2 3/4. You can't shoot the heavier loads with it. So a couple of the better choices. This is kind of a dedicated gun. It'll shoot everything from light. So you can shoot light loads, light 12 gauge loads, you know, all the way down to 7/8 ounce. And so you can shoot quail and you can shoot dove, but where this gun shines is ducks. Because it's 3.5, goes up to 3.5 inches. And it's, you know, set up where it's not going to rust. It points great. And the thing is, if you're going to shoot ducks and you're shooting heavy loads, it's like every bit of recoil that you can reduce, you're just better off. This gun points nice. It shoots nice. Sean shot ducks with it. I shot ducks with it. It's just pretty nice. This is my choice. I don't know what Rashawn's choice. Person could have only one gun. We'll ask Rashawn in a second what he thinks, but this is what I think. You could get one gun, one automatic, just anything. And you want to shoot everything from quail to doves to ducks. You want to shoot rabbits on the run. You want to shoot skeet, sporting clays, trap. It's pretty hard to beat this A300 for the price. If you can afford it, you got a lot of money, you can move on up to the A400. I'd go up to the A400 Lite, but this was $600. You could, you know, they're on sale for $600 all the time. What I don't like about it, it came with a matte finish, means it was sandblasted. That opens the pores, so in the duck blind, you know, it'll run a lot of water and moisture, that tends to rust. So I went ahead and painted it. It's got, of course, removable chokes, and they're different chokes actually than the 391 that we just looked at. But it shoots everything from the light loads to 3 inch. Doesn't shoot 3.5, but you could get some pretty darn heavy loads for ducks with 3.5. And it's flawless, and it has a Beretta system. Used to see like 1100s on the trap field, sporting clays. Well, not sporting clays because sporting clays came later, but trap and skeet, 1100s were pretty popular. Then when the A400 came out, that's what was on the field. The top. All right, we're going to talk about recommendations. What's your recommendation, Rashawn?
Well, for a beginning shooter, I would recommend getting the old trusty Remington 870 12 gauge, and they have the screw-in chokes. For an experienced wing shooter, I would recommend a very well-balanced 26-inch barrel over and under.
Yeah, that's probably good advice. For me, I just say get this gun. I'd get the Beretta A300. There's a few things I don't like. You know, I mean, I painted mine because, you know, it could have a tendency to rust because it, you know, had the matte finish. But Berettas, even if you compared the Remington 1100, 1187, they're just a lot more expensive. And this at $600 is pretty hard to beat. I mean, Beretta reliability is there. The guns shoot. They typically don't jam. They can get pretty dirty. They're very reliable, and you know, they're well balanced. This A300 is, you know, just really well balanced, and it points nice, handles nice, shoots everything from light loads to 3 inch. So it's going to cover everything from quail to ducks, to doves, to rabbits, to sporting clays, to skeet, to trap. It's going to do one gun. It's going to do it all. And this, even if you have some different guns, if you're thinking about an automatic, this is it. Unless you find a used, you know, 1100, or you can get something pretty cheap. If you're going to move up, if I was going to move up and had the money, I'd get the Beretta light. I'd get a little bit lighter, but this still feels pretty good. I mean, Rashawn shot it, I shot it. Light. It's not a super heavy gun. You know, you put a sling on it, which is cool. I mean, people think you don't use a sling, but you know, they're handy. I throw usually a leash around mine, so I have a leash when I'm hunting and in case I need to. You get these fancy Beretta cases, extra, you know, and it comes apart and fits in the case. It's a pretty nice gun, really. So I'd get it in personally. I'd get it in 12 because you can do the ducks and the heavier stuff, and you can still get the light loads. If you were just doing maybe upland and you wanted to get it in a 20 gauge and it's a little bit lighter, I could see that. All right, Rashawn Gordon from Gordon Gun Dogs. Thank you very much for your participation.
And thanks for having me, Randy.
Not a problem.